today's expose. We're talking about what's his name? Dr. Abraham Cornelius. Ooh, Cornelius. Yes, very one of those names. And he is a scientist that worked on Weapon X. He first appeared March 1991 in Marvel Comics Presents number 73, created by Barry Windsor Smith. And he's not a mutant, he just has a scientist. And he was responsible for kind of creating the bond of the adamantium. He was testing the bone cells and the metals, and then he went on to try to make money off of it and sell it and do crazy things. I don't know. It's this guy.
Yeah, so he is ultimately the last of the people Wolverine sees as responsible for his torture and the Weapon X Weapon X project. So he Wolverine chases him down, and that's the last thing he does before he quote unquote dies again, when Wolverine is encased in adamantium and actually died, but then he came back again anyway. So he's kind of what the doctor or the scientist in this episode is based off of, even though they don't give him a name. That's why I thought, let's use him.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, and he was an X-Men task, and I believe they did call him Dr. Cornelius in that.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Bayville, my new home. It's time you remember why they call me Storm.
Look at me, I look fat. Do I look that bad to you? Easy, you fuzzy elf. Everything is going to be just fine.
Storm. That was tight. I give it 2 thumbs up.
Welcome to this week's Solving for X. My name is Shawn. I'm the ultimate excavationist.
And I'm something I need to defend myself, Kevin.
That was great. So
it's a great reminder of who I am.
I think it's so funny for Shadowed Past. We're this is obviously about Wolverine. And for Grim Reminder, we're what the hell is this about?
I know. Shadowed Past would actually make much more sense for this episode because we have Shadow Cat as a big thing and Wolverine. Come on, people.
Grim Reminder is such a flase title. It just tells me nothing. Before we get into Grim Reminder, a few things. I didn't want to talk about this last week since we had Lenore, but I already told this on Words of the Witches. But I had a really cool experience where I saw an early showing of Never Let Go, where Halle Berry actually showed up for the movie. And as she was leaving, I was I hated you, Storm, but I didn't say it loud enough for her to hear. But Alan was just wow, really? But she just seemed really cool. She just seemed really nice. She was high-fiving the audience. She made sure to walk around so that everybody could see her. The movie was pretty good. I'd recommend it. So yeah, that was a cool little thing.
Fun.
I thought it was funny because yesterday, Alan and I went out with some of my friends, and one of them was I started watching X-Men 97 finally, because I brought up that we interviewed Lenore Zann, who voices Rogue. And she's and then she's and then my teenage daughter came in, and she's what are you watching? I want to watch X-Men Evolution. And then she turned off X-Men 97, even though Natasha was watching it. And Natasha was I couldn't stand X-Men Evolution. It was so terrible. I was I love this story. She didn't know that we're covering it right now. And I told her it's better, apparently. But yeah, I guess her daughter loves it. And it's funny because it's exactly what we talk about. Natasha's comic book nerd who likes to read comics, and her daughter is not. So X-Men Evolution, just happened for you, it's an easier entrance into X-Men, I think, than other X media.
Right.
But if you already know X-Men, you're oh, what is this? What is this?
It makes sense. Totally.
Yeah. Also, as you're listening to this, Kevin and I are like having the time of our life in Minneapolis right now, getting ready to go to Uncanny Experience tomorrow.
Probably
Saturday.
no one's listening to this because they're all there.
They're all there. Yeah, they're all there. So if you do happen to listen to this on your plane or while you're there, look for us at Uncanny Experience. We'll both be there Saturday and Sunday. And will you be Cyclops on both days?
Yes. I'm technically a hired cosplayer. I'm supposed to be playing the role of Cyclops all the weekend. Friday, I have a VIP party I'm supposed to be going to where I'm doing like a little Cyclops gala outfit. It's going to be very cool. Saturday, I'm running a pep rally for House Xavier, and I'll be roaming the halls, roaming the grounds. You can talk to me. Yeah. I'm also at 2:00. I have my Christmas musical panel where I'm singing 2 Christmas songs from an X-Men musical that was made. I've been trying those out like crazy. I'm very nervous, but come see me. And then they're doing another party on Saturday night. I think I'm going to be wearing my basketball Cyclops that day. Sunday, is it Sunday? Yeah, Sunday again. I'm just doing this pretty much just a rinse and repeat, except for the musical thing is only happening Saturday. But yeah, lots going on.
Wow. You just made me think of something real quick. It was funny. I felt like an idiot, but I'd never let go. They had 2 people dressed up as zombies, and like they were playing, like you said, they were in the role. They were the role. And I had 2 things because they gave out free popcorn. So I had 2 popcorns and 2 water bottles, and I could barely hold them. I was trying to get back to Alan, who was saving our seats, and I could not open the damn door. And I told the zombie, can you please open the door for me? And she would not open the door for me. I was so mad at her. Just please, I can't hold these. Finally, somebody got the door. But if somebody asked you to open the door, just open the door for them.
But Cyclops would totally do it. He's that kind of character. So
he would. Yeah, you're good. Yeah. You're not a zombie.
Yeah. No.
I felt stupid pleading with the zombie, like, please just open the door. I know you're a person. All right. 2 weeks ago, we didn't do our previous song with Lenore. I wanted to focus just on her and how wonderful she is. So, yeah. So, finally getting to that one, we asked which Nightcrawler wore it best, Uncanny, Spider-Man, Ultimate, or Evolution? Kevin.
Yes.
How do you think this went down?
Oh my gosh. I remember I liked my Spider-Man one. I feel like people are probably going to pick the one you picked.
Okay. 4% said Spider-Man.
Yeah.
8% said Evolution. 15% said Ultimate, which is the one I chose.
Okay.
73% said Uncanny. Just because that's what we're used to. So.
Yeah.
I did have friend of the pod, Ryan Yorio, write in, and he was like, why the hell would anybody pick this this homophobic Nightcrawler? And but he admitted he hadn't listened to the episode yet. I told him, to be fair, we said, we're not going off characterization, just look. And he agreed, like, well, yeah, he does have the best look. But yeah, he knows about the homophobia. So yeah, thank you everybody for voting for that. That was fun. I expected Uncanny to win just because that's what we know. But I just thought it'd be fun to see what people think. I almost put in, he had this weird, like the 90s got weird, Kevin. He had this weird 90s like Excalibur costume where his head's like shaved, and like, you know how in the red Uncanny outfit it goes into that red V?
Yeah.
In Excalibur, it was like not connected to him, so it was more like a poncho. Like, it's a cool costume, but it's just very different for Nightcrawler.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Let me get my raincoat on.
Yeah. All right. This week we're doing Grim Reminder. This aired April 14th, 2001, written by Greg Johnson, directed by Frank Parr.
Oh, I do one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. As lights come in on the lab, Wolverine in panties, which is interesting. I'm like, he's supposed to be naked, but because it's a children's show, we have him in panties. Glorious panties. he is revealed to be in a vial of test fluid. He pops his claws and wanders into the Canadian outback, where he is confronted by a saber-tooth, a man with glasses who haunts Logan's dream. Logan wakes up in panties and is visibly distraught.
You're welcome. You know what's funny is they never said this was Canadia, so I don't know if it is supposed to be Canadia or not. But
Yeah.
I assume it's supposed to, right? They called it like Mount McKenna. Is that a real place?
Who knows? I mean, we can Google, I suppose. Mount McKenna.
I'm going to Google it, I suppose.
Okay.
Mount
I'm going to tell the
McKenna.
listeners that I was also body painted as Wolverine when I went to New York to see Alyssa Milano in Chicago. I got body painted as the Wolverine and Deadpool suits. So I was all naked, but in a painted suit. And we also had somebody as painted as Deadpool. And so we did a Deadpool Wolverine photo shoot, naked photo shoot. And then we had sex. And that was fun.
Did you have sex while being in the paint?
Body painted. Yes, that made it very difficult. And yeah, it was interesting. We wiped off places that we would want, like we wiped off hands and genitals so we could get rid of the paint there. But the rest of us were painted. But it was very awkward. I don't say that much. But we did it, and it was fun. And it's gonna be fun for the OnlyFans. So whenever I get those.
So it looks like Mount McKenna is made up. It says here, Mount McKenna was a mountain located in Canada.
Oh.
This is on the
Canada
X-Men
Dry.
Evolution Wiki. Yep.
Okay.
It doesn't say much. There's like a paragraph here about this episode, and that's it. Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah. And then it says something about Wolverine getting fucked in body paint.
It's fun. It's good. I'm waiting for the picture. I'm waiting for the pictures because I have Instagram safe pictures and I have like whatever. But I did post one picture recently of my selfies I took where I just blurred out the penis. So you can still see the full suit on me, which is pretty cool.
Cool. All right, back at the manor. Kitty wakes up to her 6:30 a.m. alarm. Still groggy, she phases into the bathroom, missing the occupado towel. Rogue angrily kicks Kitty out. Kitty goes back to her room to email her parents about the crowded life at the school. In comes Rogue, whose hair has gone rogue. Rogue starts to blow dry her hair. Kitty gets annoyed and heads to the kitchen for alone time. Really, Kitty? The kitchen at breakfast? While there, the other students come in for breakfast and turn on the TV. Logan sees an animal attack at Mount McKenna and gets worried and leaves. He goes to his room while suffering from a splitting headache. And we've already called this out, but 2000's moment.
You know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning?
2000's moment.
Yeah.
Another alarm clock.
Yeah. Fun.
You're fine.
All right. Chwa. Logan starts tearing up his room. He's so extra in this episode. It's great.
Yeah.
Kitty goes to check on him. She finds the room torn up. Logan says, "I'm redecorating," and leaves. Kitty goes to the common room for privacy. She finds Spike there pinning a poster to the ceiling, random and kind of assholery. She's like, "What if nobody doesn't like whatever your band is?" Like, "Oh, I don't care. Psh, bye, peace." Like, okay, jerk. Spike leaves. Kitty finally finds her alone time. She starts describing Evan to her parents. Just then, Evan's poster comes crashing down on Kitty's head.
What she could have just phased through, but whatever.
You know.
All right. Kitty goes outside to sit in the tree. This is so weird. It reminds me of during
C-Spot
COVID.
Run.
Yeah, C-Spot Run. During COVID, they had these weird like MTV commercials doing RuPaul's Drag Race, and one of them was like, "I like watching MTV while I sit in a tree with my birds." That's what this reminded me of. I'm like, what? Why are you in a tree?
Yeah, Kitty goes out to sit in a tree. Better get the firefighter.
Oh, that's funny. She is a kitty in a tree.
Yeah. Meow.
Meow. She starts describing Cyclops to her parents while creepily watching him work on a car. Scott starts playing Shawn music, which startles Kitty. She almost falls out of the tree. Scott drives off, and Kitty sees Logan and Xavier come outside to talk. All right. Wolverine has enhanced senses. Professor X can read people's minds. Neither of them knows she's there, but whatever. Logan tells Charles there's some recurring memory in his head, and he wants Charles to find it. Get in my head. Can you find it? Can you find the memory? Oh, where'd it go?
Oh, yes. Logan has a flashback of the lab and the man in the glasses. I'm like, who is this, Mr. Freeze?
Yeah.
Xavier tells Logan that this isn't a dream, but a memory of how he got his adamantium skeleton. Logan asks Xavier to go into his head again. Logan sees a shadowy figure who definitely is not Sabretooth, but probably is. He decides to go to Mount McKenna to investigate. Xavier doesn't stop him. Okay, then.
Yeah, I think this was the smartest thing in this series so far that Xavier's done. Like, you can't stop Logan from doing something. Right. Just let the man go. Oh, by the way, I did bitch in length to Natasha about how terrible Professor X is in X-Men Evolution.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And
we hate him.
I also told her about the episode where, like, the whole plot was, like, Magneto wanted to get Quicksilver in a fight with Spike so that he would be more malleable to come to Magneto's side, and then like the plan went to shit, and in the end Magneto's like, come join me, and Pietro's like, all right. I was like, wait. Then what was the point of the rest of the episode? Yeah. Kitty goes to hide in the Blackbird for some privacy, and nobody saw what was going to happen next. Nobody could ever think what's going to happen next would happen. She's worried Kurt may port in and scare her, like he do. She's about to head to school when Kurt pops in and scares her, like he do. They're about to head to school when, what? The Blackbird suddenly takes off. Logan is flying it. Kitty warns Kurt to not disturb Logan since he's acting weird. Kurt doesn't listen, and Logan tries to stab him. Logan stops himself just in time. Kurt ports away from Logan. Logan engages autopilot and struggles not to attack Kurt and Kitty. He locks himself away from the kids to protect them, but not before like the weird claw thing. Like he tries to claw the door, and I was like, I thought that would come into play somehow. Like, I don't know, but it just happened.
It's just something to show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and Kitty's like, hey, can't you just like port us down there? And Kurt's like, you're funny. Like, it's like, we're way too high, and I don't want to feel like going kasplat. She's like, oh, okay. And then they have no choice but to tag along with Logan on his secret mission. The team finds themselves in the Canadian wilderness. Logan leaves the jet. Kurt tries to signal the professor, but communications are jammed. Kurt and Kitty discreetly follow Logan.
Which, if Kitty fully understood her power, she could have phased them through the jet and lightly brought them down to Earth, because she can kind of control her density when she's phased. So she could have saved them.
Oh, see?
As Logan walks through the wilderness, I call him the naughty professor. Instead of the nutty professor, he's the naughty professor. The naughty professor speaks to his clandestine, definitely not Sabretooth partner. He tells him that the chip he implanted in Logan is still there and working. The naughty professor and Sabretooth tailored the news story of a Bigfoot attack to bring, I guess it was Sabretooth, to bring Logan's repressed memories to the surface. The clandestine, definitely not Sabretooth partner reveals himself to be Sabretooth. Oh, I spoiled it. I said he was Sabretooth before I said he was Sabretooth. Gasp! Sabretooth heads out to find Logan. The naughty professor cranks up a dial to affect the Logan's chip. This one goes.
Oh, you like
11.
that, don't you? I'm going to crank
you
this
like
up.
That?
Oh.
Yeah, Wolverine. Yeah, you like that, Logie?
vibrational.
Yeah. Watch. If this were like an adult show, it would be like one of those vibrating eggs in Wolverine's ass.
Yeah,
He's like cranking it up.
That's what it is. Remote control. Like, let's channel the different setting. You like the way that rotate? Yeah. This is the torture setting. All right. Wolverine and Sabretooth catch up to each other in the wilderness. The two lock into battle. Wolverine gains the upper hand and demands answers from Sabretooth. Just then, the naughty professor shows up. I was going to say Spanks, but shows up and warns Wolverine that he won't like the answers he gets. The professor cranks up the chip, incapacitating Wolverine. Sabretooth takes advantage of the moment and knocks out Logan.
Oh, no. Back at the compound, the naughty professor tells Logan he was a great success. He aims to get his money's worth from Logan's experiment. Logan demands to know who did this to him. Enter Sabretooth. They start, period, experimenting on Logan. They restart Operation Weapon X. It will turn Wolverine into the ultimate mutant slayer. Rah!
Whoa. Oh, it's just like X-Men 97.
How dare you?
Well, with the secret thingies that attack the mutants.
Yeah,
Return
okay,
them.
fine. Yeah, you win.
All right.
Fine.
All right. Yeah, that little part. 11. In the wilderness. Kitty and Kurt do their best to follow Logan. They lose the train but happen upon Logan in the wilderness. Something seems off, though, as they see Wolverine working with Sabretooth. Wolverine and Sabretooth start chasing Kurt and Kitty. Oh no, the two do their best not to be killed. Logan is about to hurt Kitty when he recognizes Kitty and struggles not to not hurt her. The naughty professor cranks up the chip and Logan loses control once more. He gives chase to Kitty. Kitty escapes by phasing through a mountain and finds herself on a cliff's edge with a beautiful waterway.
Now I'm just imagining like a vibrating egg in Wolverine's ass, and it's giving me so much pleasure.
I mean, the way he screams, absolutely, that's true.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Coming.
After this episode, people are going to want to walk up to us and uncanny experience. They're going to be like, stay away from those fucking perverts.
Like, I'm comfortable.
I'm uncomfortable. Sabretooth continues to chase Kurt. Kurt does his best to teleport out of harm's way. He finds an escape window and gets away from Sabes. Meanwhile, Kitty hides from Logan in the cliffside. She's actually like phased into the cliff.
Yeah.
Logan continues to struggle with his memories. Kitty sneaks up behind Logan to help him by taking the egg out of his butt. Kurt pops in and offers to port them away. Kitty refuses to go. She feels she can get through to Logan. Logan comes to and retracts his claws. Just then, Sabes attacks. Logan and Sabretooth chase each other into the wilderness.
Let's run.
Let us run, but gaily, into the wilderness.
Yes. Gallop, yes.
Bazoo.
Back at the lab, the naughty professor is alone. Sabretooth shows up and tells the professor that Logan has broken into the building. The professor cranks up the machine. As Logan struggles, the machines come and attack him. Other machines elsewhere. He's like, oh yes, yeah, it's so easy, you think. Not really. Elsewhere, Kitty and Kurt meet up with Sabretooth. Kurt holds him off while Kitty goes and helps Logan escape the machines. She phases into the machine, affecting Logan's mind and destroys it.
Yay! Wolverine and Sabretooth close in on the naughty professor. Kurt ports out him and Kitty just before the facilita explodes. Logan, Sabes, and the professor are caught in the blast. Kitty and Kurt watch the explosion from afar. They sigh in relief as they see a busted up Logan limping towards them. It lives! It lives!
That's right. Back at the manor. No, Charlie. Back at the manor, Logan is in bed, wounded. He suddenly wakes up to find Xavier at his side. Logan asks about the kids, and then Xavier assures him they are fine. I probably didn't check on them, but they are fine. Xavier had the chip removed. Logan is free! Be free! Logan vows to find who did this to him, because that's how I always say things. I vow to find whoever did anything to me.
Yeah. Alone in the dining room, Kitty continues her email to her parents. She tells them it's just been another normal day in the institute. Kitty realizes maybe it's a good thing she's in a crowded school. At least she's never alone. She describes being at the school as being part of a family. The end. The end.
I thought she was writing a blog this whole time. I thought she was like I'm writing this to my followers so that they can like hear my life. But
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, just her parents.
Yeah, just her parents.
So this episode was originally going to be called Remember the Past, which is also very vanilla and very lame. It reminds me of, like, it should be an episode of The Lion King.
Yeah. Remember who you are.
Remember. Well, what do you think would have been a good name for this?
I think Shadowed Past, the first title, would have been better.
Yeah, that's true.
That tells us so much.
Or even like, what about like the Adamantium Conspiracy or something? Something that gives us a little of what it is, not just grim reminder.
Yeah, right.
Oh, well. All right, so tell me what you thought of this episode, which we got through really quick. And is it Britishly bitchin' like Emma, pretty cool like Iceman, Australian Wolverine, you kind of love it but kind of hate it, fat and sweaty like Jubilee, unspeakable like X-Men Origins Deadpool?
This one was just fine. I didn't really like this one. Especially after the last episode, it's like, are you recycling the same story? Are you trying to do another thing over again, back to back to back? I'm like, really? Okay. So I'm giving this fat and sweaty like Jubilee just because, and maybe because I've seen so much of Wolverine's past in other shows. This is technically the first time in this show, so I guess, but I'm just like, I mean, if you're going to do a past Wolverine episode, this was kind of vanilla too. It was just kind of light and weird and like, I don't know, possessy. I don't like it.
I love that you literally just said it's vanilla because that was exactly what I was going to say. It was very like safe. Like, I don't know, something with the chip in Wolverine's head makes it like not as sexy,
compelling,
not as dangerous. Like, I don't know. And I was actually going to give this Australian Wolverine, but you actually talked me down to fat and sweaty like Jubilee because you reminded me it is just like the Spike episode, Spike Cam.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like Kitty going through...
And the Rogue and because what the Shadow Pass, what was that? That was all
Nightcrawler and Rogue, yeah.
Yeah, Nick. So we went back to their history and we're like, you're doing the same thing again?
That's true. And like, I don't think we needed Kitty to be writing this blog. It had nothing to do with the story. It just kind of stopped when she left to go with Wolverine. We didn't need an introduction to the characters because we've been watching the rest of the season. Right. We didn't need her feeling comfortable at the school because we've seen her bonding with Rogue and being comfortable at the school. So like, yeah, I don't know.
There's just a lot of weirdness. Yeah.
Yeah. And Wolverine's story, I don't know. It's very vanilla. Not great. Yeah. Not great.
No.
Why are you making me watch this show?
It gets better, I swear. I remember it being better.
You keep saying that.
We're only in season 1 still. We're almost done.
I know.
Season 1.
And I kind of know what the next 2 episodes are about, so I'm excited for that. That should be interesting. It's like the start of the good.
Yeah.
Who would you say is the most excellent player, MXP?
I mean, I just gave it to Kitty, I guess, because of the way that she talked Wolverine down. But there wasn't really any major, I don't know, player here that I liked.
Yeah, I gave it to Kitty for the same reason, but not only that, like in the jet, we saw her tell Nightcrawler, like, don't go near him. He's in a mood.
Yeah,
like,
that's
so
true.
she could really read him. And so I like that we got to see that she's not just a ditzy girl like Samantha Stevens, but you have to watch Words
See?
of the Witches to get that. So yeah, this gave a little more depth to Kitty, which was nice.
Yeah.
What would you say is the X factor?
I guess having an episode about Wolverine's past backstory, because that's always something that's constant.
Yeah.
There you go.
For me, I said the relationship between Kitty and Wolverine, because in the late 80s, they did, or I think mid 80s to late 80s, they got really close. Like there's even a comic book, Kitty Pryde and Wolverine, where like they travel to Japan together. She finds about Ogun, which is like Wolverine's mortal enemy. She even like becomes a samurai through the training of Wolverine. So like, I don't know if that's something that threads through this show. Like this is just the beginning of it, but I like that we're at least getting a hint of like Kitty and Wolverine get each other on a different level, and they are actually like really close.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, Wolverine's always kind of like the grumpy character who like, it sounds kind of creepy saying it now that I think about it, but he usually like befriends the younger women who aren't fitting in.
Oh yeah.
He kind of took first Rogue and then Kitty and then Jubilee under his wing, which is kind of his MO. He's kind of that father figure to them.
Mm-hmm. Maybe he probably regrets like not really having, well, I don't say not really having children, but like being a part of his children's life. Or not, he doesn't really, he plays surrogate father to all these other people except for his own children.
True. That's a good point. Yeah. Probably that fatherly itch in him.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of, thank you for that segue. On this week's Previously On, I want to know, whose claws would you rather have? Wolverine, Sabretooth, Dakin, who's his son, or X-23, who's technically his daughter, but a clone.
Mm-hmm. So, okay, let's break it down. So Wolverine has the three in the things, the three claws. We know Wolverine. Sabretooth has the fingernails.
Yep.
Dakin has the two in the, what do you call those things?
That's out of like the knuckles.
Finger,
right?
Knuckles, yeah, out of the knuckles, yeah. So he has the two out of the knuckles and one out of the wrist on the underside.
Yeah, which creeps me out because the wrist is like sensitive to me. So I don't know if I can.
It is super sensitive. Like I want to cosplay him, but I'm like, I'm like, I don't know. It would, and I feel like it would like get in the way of my hand.
Yeah.
And then there's X-23 who has got like the hand one and the feet ones.
Yeah, she got two on her hands,
two on the hands and one on the foot. Yeah. So I would say, I'm gonna say X-23. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not a female. Whatever.
What?
I'm not a woman.
You mean that huge bulbous dick that you have isn't a female dick?
It's my claw. It's my adamantium claw.
Oh no.
Maybe that's where it is. Dangeroso.
Never have sex with this man. I also said X-23 just because like I feel like you can get the most use out of that hidden third claw. And like also it'd be cool just having one on your foot too. Like you could do other things with that.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I've always found Dakin's like, that looks like it'd get in the way. It doesn't look fun at all.
Yeah, because even though I want to cosplay him, I just keep thinking, I'm like, huh? How am I going to pick stuff up?
Yeah. Well, and next up, we have The Beginning of the End, the two-parter season finale, The Cauldron Part 1. And I already kind of know what it's about.
I remember this being very important. Which episodes do I have on this? Which episodes do I have on this? Oh. I have the Cauldron on this DVD.
Oh, wow.
I have the last 4 episodes of the season on this DVD. So, yeah. But yeah, I am excited because we finally get to see some brotherly love. Or brotherly hate.
I think this might be the farthest I've ever made it into X-Men Evolution.
So just the first season. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever finished it. I can't remember how far I got when it was on, but I don't think I got far. And then I tried rewatching it when Disney Plus came out, but I only got, I think, to episode 6.
Look at the podcast is getting you through.
Yeah, like that's why I was excited to go through these with you, because I have always wanted to sit down and watch it, and this is forcing me to do that finally, just like Charmed. Yeah. I'd always meant to watch Charmed, and the podcast made me watch it all and read the comics and read the books.
You know?
Yeah.
Magic.
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 Kevin, where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me at KJEEZY87 on Instagram, where all the X-Men shenanigans from this weekend will be. You can follow the other podcast that we do, Words of the Witches. Listen on Instagram and not Instagram, but listen and follow the Instagram there. And that's all I got.
Yeah. You can find Solving for X on Instagram. We forgot to say this last week, but YouTube or TikTok. We have the full Lenore video chat on YouTube. We also have clips on TikTok, which have been getting a lot of attention. I was kind of proud of that. I was like, hey, there we go. Because maybe it's the way I posted it, because the Leewalds and Guy Agostini didn't get much love, but Lenore Zann's getting all the love. Yeah. And you could find my book through my links on Instagram or on Amazon.com through using my name. Yeah, all the things. Look for all our posts coming out. Yay!
Yay! Oh, look at this picture.
Oh, that's Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for listening, Sexy XC's Mega Berserker, and I will see you next week with The Cauldron.
Get that egg out of my butt!
That was magic.